I just want to do a real video today where I'm talking a lot about the experience of ADHD that most people probably don't talk about as much. And it's a lot to do with the internal dialogue that's taking place in your head that ends up killing a huge amount of time and ends up having you just almost so indulged in it that you end up basically not present at all, and you were literally in another world. It's like you was literally just in another world in that moment, and you look at the time, it's like, "Well, that's 3 hours gone. Like, how did that go? Like, how's it been 3 hours?" Like, this gets really overlooked, and it's really detrimental to our journey because it makes us then go into self-sabotage. It makes us go into feeling like what, how did that time get wasted, and oh, I could have done this in that time and this and that. This rumination is extremely painful. It's extremely painful being in it because in that moment when you're in it, you actually think is real. It's like when you're in a dream, like, when you have a dream that feels so real. It's like, damn, man, I feel like I was actually there. Like, that's what rumination feels like. It's like you feel like you're living that experience in that moment, but you snap out and nah, that was inside my head, right? So I feel like when it comes to bottlenecks with an ADHD, and I speak about it in my content, often talking about what that thing is hyper focus, right? We're hyper focusing on something that our attention was on, and that attention might have been our thought process around, oh, what happened if this happens? Or it might be, oh man, like that person said this, and then I said this, and like, oh, I wonder what they thought about what I said. Like those little patterns and habits or behaviors that we're doing in those moments is a skill, right? It's a skill to be able to do that. But for a lot of us, we don't realize that we're using that. That's what's actually going on, is that we're using the hyper focus on everything, and we're making meaning for everything. Everything's got a meaning to it. It's like we're just always creating meaning for stuff. That's the thing. It's the meaning that we're attaching to stuff. Oh, that person, like, they shouldn't have done that because, like, they should respect my time, and you say what your core values are and what things that person should have bared in mind, but that person's that person. They just did what they did, right? And then you just like trying to dissect why they should have done it a different way, and all this stuff is you going into a hyper focus around the meaning attached to what they did, when if you said all of that to them, they might just go, "You're just overthinking this, man. That has nothing to do with what the reason why I did what I did, right?" But you created that in your head, and you think it's real. It's insane, and it's like you think about you think about this trait called hyperfocus, right? And you think about how it impacts every area of your life. Like, let's just think about all the other traits and how what I just said it relates to all of them. Time blindness. It relates to time blindness because when you go and hyper focus around the procrastination of something, right, you end up just like losing track of time, right? Hyper focus affects that. Hyper focus affects rejection sensitivity because you're just hyper focusing on what people are going to think, right? And then you make this big story in your head about what people think, and none of them are thinking any of that shit. They've got their own life to deal with, right? And then there's another thing where you might have task paralysis or executive dysfunction happening. Like, you're sitting there ready to plan, and you're hyper focusing on the details of the plan that, step 12, right? When you should be really thinking about the step one, right? When you're doing the planning, the mapping out of stuff, right? We're already going into the future of so much stuff like that. But what if this happens in this scenario? What if it rains and all this stuff? It's like, but none of those things are real. It's like, yeah, you could anticipate just in case it rains, and well, we might have to do that and this, but all of that, you look at the time and it's like 3 hours is gone, and you've just been like hyper focusing on all the scenarios that might happen, all this stuff, and in the end, you've wasted 3 hours, right? And someone that doesn't have a brain wiring like us will have done what took us 3 hours, 5 minutes, right? And it would have taken us 5 minutes as well if we didn't let that hyper focus be let loose in the way that it was let loose, right? So I wanted to do a raw video and share that this is something that really gets overlooked for someone that has ADHD, especially and especially if someone doesn't know or have or informed about ADHD and they don't really know what ADHD means and they just have made their own assumption what ADHD means and someone's actually dealing with that with ADHD. That's a big problem. So I wanted to talk about it in this. I want you to know that the most important thing for us to do is to catch these things sooner. It's not about us trying to be perfect, and that's our problem. Is that we try to seek solutions outside of our, like externally to fix the problem. That we want to fix things. It's not so much a fixing thing; it's more a noticing the pattern thing, the tracking the data thing. The last way that I can drive this home, I guess, is that if you look at a personal trainer's job is to make sure that you show up and you do the right things when they're supposed to be done, right? So you could sign up to the gym, it'd be a lot cheaper, right? You can eat, like you can buy all the healthy foods and you can do all this stuff, right? If you want, all that stuff's fine. You can do that and you could do it yourself, right? So you can just like eat this stuff, not weigh it, just hope for the best, and then weigh yourself like, oh, I'm still not losing weight. Okay. And you can keep doing that for a year, right? And making no progress. Or you can get a personal trainer, right? And the personal trainer, what he does is he says, hold on, what you did there was the reason why you're not losing weight. So we need to take that out of the diet, right? And that's what I want to help people with through my material. And obviously, with my free course, it's just like you going to the gym. That's literally all it is. It's like you're going to the gym yourself. You are following a diet plan and you're following a exercise routine. That's the best example of like the content I'm doing on YouTube and the content that's in my free community. I've got a link in the description if you want to check out the free community. And that's what that is basically, right? But then there's the aspect of looking at the data together and understanding why these patterns occur and catching them sooner, these blind spots. And that's where the personal support that I do for people comes in, is that it's literally like that. It's the personal trainer seeing what's going on specific to your situation and creating a personal custom meal plan or custom exercise routine based on your situation. So if you want to obviously speak to me and you want to kind of do what an ADHD does, is where they go on a tangent or they might just want to like just express things and that they go like the different angles with their, how you want to express yourself. That's something that I'm very familiar with. I've spoken to hundreds of people at this point now, ADHD is sorry, who I let them do that. I let them express themselves the way that the ADHD brain needs them to express themselves. And then I just want to see if I can actually help you, right? And that's all it is really. I want to see if I could just give you a custom plan or if I just create one that you could just work on yourself, right? If you're interested in working with me, there's a link in the description. This is something I'm really passionate about, and I'm just going to keep talking about it. I'm going to keep talking about this because it is something that gets overlooked, and I think the key thing is looking at the data, and the key thing as well is knowing very clearly what you need to do and when to do it, and what time you should allocate for things. Like that's what's going to be the most important thing in the end, right? You could do it slow paced, or you could do it fast paced. Both will get you there,